Scottie, welcome back to the interview room. You entered the weekend as the co-leader with rounds of 66 and 72. Can you please describe the challenging conditions you had to battle out there today?
Yeah, it was extremely challenging. The winds were up very high, and they blow us from everywhere out here. And so I think even par this afternoon was a really good score. And I can't really describe how windy it is and how difficult the gusts are, just because I think you just have to be out there and experience it. Like hitting shots into 11 and 12 today were it's so difficult. And like when you have putts. Like I had a putt from about 4 or 5 feet on number 9, and on a typical day it would have been just outside the hole with no wind. But I could hit it on that line, and the wind is so the putt's breaking right to left, wind's blowing left to right, and it can change the break of the putt by a cup on either side, especially at the speeds that these greens are at. So everything out there is extremely difficult when it's this windy. So I was definitely pleased to get in there at even par.
We will now open it up for questions. Jeffrey?
Scottie, 2 quick ones if I could. What was the role of experience on a day like today?
Not really sure. I think for me mostly it was just trying to manage my way around the golf course, and that's pretty much it. Just trying to make as many pars as you could and try and leave it in the right spots. But it's just so difficult when you can't tell where the wind is coming from. You can only, make really an educated guess and then try to go from there. And for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job today.
We always think when you get to the 13th tee, you're seeing the scoring holes out here. Is that as hard as you've ever seen those holes play, 13 on?
Pretty much. Yeah. Like 13 for me today was a good example of, I hit a good tee shot and had a really good second shot, and then you just get gusted by the wind, and then stuff like that happens. You make bogeys. And then you get to 15, a hole that's typically reachable. Like yesterday, I hit driver 3-iron onto the green, and today, and it was still a little bit into the wind yesterday, actually, and I hit driver 3-iron onto the green, and today it was so into the wind, I hit driver 3-iron, and I had 70 yards left. So, yeah, big difference out there.
Renee? No?
Michael, thank you. The day is so long and so challenging. Do you have to play little tricks with yourself to give yourself a little break from the task at hand while you're between shots or any other time? Yeah,
I try to relax as much as possible out there, but I feel like I teed off 10 hours ago. It was a long day out there. Kaiser was wearing a watch, and when we got to 16 tee, I think it was 6:57, so it had already been over 5 hours. And that's what happens when you have greens this fast and this much wind and that much water out there. It's going to take a while to play golf. That's pretty much it.
Almost like U.S. Open golf is often like that, isn't it? Where the days are so long and so mentally grueling.
I think major championship golf has a tendency to just be very mentally grinding. And days like today, I think, are the extreme of that. Just with how much the wind is blowing, it can be so difficult. And you just got to do your best to relax as much as possible out there and try and execute.
Sean?
Will you hit balls tonight?
I was going to hit a few, but it's pretty much dark. I'll see if Xander's still on the table, then I may hit a few just to get a feel before I go home. But outside of that, I may just head out.
And with Meredith not being here, what's missing when she's not here with you?
What's missing?
Yeah,
it's difficult to describe. But yeah, it's a bit weird. It's my first tournament without her being around in quite some time. Fortunately, Nike kind of takes care of my clothes this week, so I don't have to pick my own outfits. I did make breakfast this morning, which was an adjustment. No, but yeah, she's obviously my biggest supporter, and I definitely miss having her here. But it's an exciting time for us in our lives, and fortunately, she's still at home and feeling good. So we're grateful for that.
Abraham.
Hi, Scottie. How will you compare today's conditions with last year's conditions? Was it harder today or last year?
I think it was harder today. What I remember from last year was a lot of rain, which can be challenging in its own way. Today, with the wind and the firmness of the greens, I would say that it felt more challenging, but I don't have distinct memories of last year outside of it just raining a ton.
David?
Scotty, on a day like this, even par is a good score. Does it some way feel rewarding to have fought through that and come up with a score that puts you tied for the lead?
Yeah, it's definitely rewarding. Like I said, it was extremely challenging out there, and I'm proud of how I finished. I had, I would say, 3 really good pars to finish the round. 3 really nice 2-putts. Yeah, good par on 14. I can't really say it was a good par on 15, but really anytime you make a par on a day like today is typically a good par. So yeah, definitely feeling pretty good with the results from today, and excited to get some rest and get ready for tomorrow.
Was there ever a situation where you felt a little frustrated because it just took so long and it was so hard? Or to fight the feeling, I guess, if you
Yeah, I mean, I think you get frustrated sometimes when you think the wind's blowing one direction and then it just decides it's going to blow the complete opposite direction. But outside of that, I mean, those are things that you expect on days like today. And all I do is just try to control what I can control. And then, if I can do that, then I'm typically pretty satisfied with the results.
Scottie, thank you for your time and best of luck this weekend.
All right. Thanks, y'all.